everyone, I'm Gemma from Concrete Gems Crochet, and today I am bringing you this lovely creation. Now this is a snowflake patterned crochet gift wrap. So it goes around a crochet box, which you can just see peeking through. Ooh, got an end I haven't sewn in there. And it's got this wonderful mosaic snowflake pattern, which if you are an avid follower, you will know, remember it from my snowflake headband that I released in February. And this is a lovely gift wrap, and you can wrap any sized box, square or rectangular box, in it, and I'm going to show you how to work out the measurements for it for yourself. And I'm going to show you a full length tutorial on how to make one of these, and you're going to make it for a gift box. So I've just made, for this one, I just made a box with some cardboard. I just taped it together to get the size that I wanted. But if you have a box, a gift box, something like this, some chocolates, or anything that comes in a box shape, then you can use that instead. And this is going to be a made to measure pattern. So we're going to make the pattern for the box. So we're going to make it for this one. I've not done it before, so this is following the pattern instructions to measure it myself and work it all out, and I will show you how to do it as we go along. So today I'm going to be using some worsted weight yarn. So this is an Aran, actually. Aran and worsted weight are fairly similar and pretty much interchangeable for this purpose anyway. So I'm going to be using Caron Simply Soft. It's a category 4 yarn and it's 100% acrylic. Now I would recommend that you just have a look in your stash and find some category 4 yarn that will work for you, because it really doesn't matter what you use. I'm also going to be using the Simply Soft Party, which is a sparkly one, and that's going to be for the snowflake detail. So I'm going to make a brown one this time. I've got a red one here, and there's also a green one that I made, all using the same sparkly yarn in between. I'm also using a 4.5mm crochet hook, which is recommended for this category yarn for this pattern. Tension isn't critical for this project. However, I will give you the gauge so that you because you'll need it for some instructions. So the gauge is over this mosaic crochet section. 14 stitches are 4 inches or 10 centimeters, and from this silver line to the bottom silver line, or really from the bottom to the top silver line, which is 13 rounds, that is 3.25 inches or 8 centimeters. Okay, so you'll need that measurement. So I would recommend, and more details given in the pattern, that you make a gauge swatch of the snowflake motif with a few extra rows, just so that you can measure that and work out your gauge from that. Okay, so we're going to get started, and we're going to start with the base. So the base is fairly straightforward. I mean, you're not going to see it, so it's not essential, but we're going to start with our brown in this case. And what I'm going to do is get my yarn in a tangle. One of these days I'll get myself a yarn winder, and then I'll have beautiful yarn cakes. But for the moment, we'll carry on like this. So let's get started. We're going to make a simple chain to start with, and you want to make your chain the size of your box that you're making. Okay, so I'm just going to start crocheting chain stitches. when I think that it might be the right length, I'm going to lie it down and place it alongside my box. So I think it needs to be, I'm just looking at the lid's slightly bigger than the box. So I'm going to do one more chain, okay. And then we're going to start the design. So we're going to start by chaining one. I know it's already chained, but that really helps to make sure that we've got the right number. Okay, so the chain one is like the turning chain. And then we're going to single crochet into each stitch across. So this is a bit different to my normal patterns being made to measure. And it's quite fun to do. There's only the mosaic crochet bit which is slightly complex, but the rest is really straightforward and is all about just having your box close by so that you can grab hold of it whenever you need to check the sizes. And these look all lovely, really, really nice under the tree with your other presents. They're just something a bit special to put under the tree. Right, so once you've done your first row, I would measure it again. And I think that's about perfect. You don't want it too big, but you don't want it too small either. So just keep checking. And then we're going to turn and chain one. And we're just going to repeat this now. So we're going to make our base just out of single crochet stitches, turning at the end of each row and chaining one before starting the next row. And we just continue going backwards and forwards until our base fits the entire base of the box. So you can do it like this on the top just to fit. So you'll just continue going until you've got a square or rectangle the size of your box. Now I should say that if you don't have a box and you want to wrap something that's an odd shape, then you can make your own box. Like I did for this one, just grab some cardboard, cut it to size and tape it with paper tape or brown tape or whatever you've got. You're not going to see it. If you're worried about seeing the corners, you can then wrap your present in wrapping paper, or you can make sure that you make your sides slightly longer and then it won't show at all. Okay, so we're just going to carry on doing our single crochets, and I will carry on doing mine, and I will meet you at the end when you have made yours the size of the base of the box. Okay, so I've made my base square now, rectangle, square, almost a square I think, the same size as my box, and now we need to do our first little bit of maths. So what we need to do is count how many stitches there are. Oh, I'll get the box out of the way so I can see. You need to count how many stitches there are along your row, and you need to count how many rows you've got. So I'm going to count mine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I've got 13 stitches, which is lovely and awkward. And I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 rows. Is that correct? 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 14. Yep, 14 rows and 13 stitches. So you need to work out how much that is all the way around. So now you're going to see how slow my mental maths is. So 2 14s are 28 and 2 13s are 26. So that is 28 plus 26 is 48, 54. So I've got 54 stitches all the way around. So for our snowflake motif, we need to have a multiple of 10 stitches all the way around. So that's not a problem. What did I say? I had 54. So you can't round down, really. You have to round up. So we need to get to 60. So we need to add 6 extra stitches. So we're going to add 1 in each corner, and we're going to add 2 in in 2 of the corners. Okay, so 2, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 extra stitches, okay, as we go around. So what we're going to do is we are going to turn our work, and we're going to start working down the row ends. Okay, just get it a bit lower so you can see what I'm doing. So we're going to chain 1, and we're going to work 1 stitch into each of our row ends, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. I should have said that when I started that with the calculations. So if you've got an odd number, just add an odd number of stitches on. If you've got exactly a multiple of 10, 40, 50, 60, 70, etc., then you don't need to add any extra stitches. You just crochet into the stitches that you've already got and the row ends that you've already got. Otherwise, you need to add a number of stitches. It could just be 1 stitch that you need to add, could be 9 stitches you need to add, okay? It won't make any difference to your box when you get to the end. Right, so that's my first row I've gone down. That's my chain. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 I've got. I'm supposed to have 14. Count that again. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Right, 14. I'm going to put 1 in there. And then I wanted to add 2 into this corner, didn't I? So that's 2 there. And then we're going to go down my foundation chain. So I should have 13 there. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. So we're going to work 13 along here. Oh dear. And you just carry on like that for the number that you need to get, okay? So you're just doing single crochets. I haven't said that I'm working in US terms. I'm working in US crochet terms, guys. Sorry about that. So I've got to the end. I'm going to add an extra stitch into the corner, and then I'm going to be working into my row ends. Remember, that will be the same stitch again for my row ends, okay? For the first row. So then I'm going to work my 14 row ends, okay? So just go around and make sure you've got the right number of stitches that you need for a multiple of 10 all the way around your square. So I've gone all the way around now, and I slip stitched into the first stitch to join, and I've now got 60 stitches all the way around. So round 2 is going to be exactly the same. We're just going to single crochet into each stitch all the way around our base, okay? Whoops, totally messed that stitch up. Let's start that again. Right, so crocheting into each of your stitches. So you should still have the same number of stitches now. You're going to have a continuous amount now, which will be a multiple of 10, and that will be going up the sides of your box. And we're going to do some more calculations in a minute, which will which are necessary to determine where your snowflake motifs are going to sit on your gift wrap box. Okay, so just carry on doing single crochets into each stitch all the way around for round 2. And we're going to finish off round 2 in the same way with a slip stitch into that first stitch, being careful not to crochet into the slip stitch joins from the previous round. So moving on to round 3 now. Round 3 is we're going to start working into the back loops only. Okay, so we're going to chain 1 and we're going to do single crochet into the back loop only of each stitch around, and this is the start of well, potentially the start of our mosaic pattern. So just do that into each stitch around, just going through that back loop only, and I will see you at the other side. And we're just going to slip stitch into the back loop only of the first stitch to join. Okay, so that is our round 3. So now we need to do a little bit of maths. Okay, so we want our snowflake motif, this one, to be placed fairly centrally onto our box. Okay, so, well, I mean, you can choose really, it doesn't matter, but I'm going to show you how to do it centrally. Okay, so I've got my ruler and we need to measure the size of our box. So it's 4.5 inches or 11.5 centimeters. Our snowflake motif, as I said earlier, is 3.25 inches and we want that to be placed centrally. So if we take 3.25 off of 4.5, that leaves us with 1.25 inches left. So half of 1.25 inches is an awkward number. 0.67 of an inch. So we want our 3.25 to be in the middle of our box. So we want about just over half an inch at the bottom and half an inch at the top of just our single crochet in the back loops. Okay, so that's what we're going to do now. We are going to do repeating round 3 as many times to create the amount that you want on the base of your box. So already with the 2 rounds that the 3 rounds that we've done already from the start, mine is getting close. So I'm probably only going to do 1 or 2 more rounds of the single crochet in the back loop before I start the snowflake motif, which, as I said, starts on the bottom silver bit. Okay, so that line. Whoop. Too close, it's too close. There we go. So that it's from that silver band there to that one there. Okay, so repeat your round 3 until you are happy with the placing of your snowflake motif, and then come back and we will do the snowflake motif together. So I decided to do 2 more rounds. So you can see it definitely looks like a box now, and you can double check that your box still fits in it, which mine does, which is great. So now we are going to move on to the mosaic double crochet, and we're going to start with our silver yarn. So you can use any kind of sparkly or plain yarn. I mean, it's completely up to you what color you use. I quite like this one with a bit of sparkle running through it for Christmas. So I'm just going to, so I've slip stitched into the final stitch here of my round 3, and then I'm just going to pull through my silver, and then I'm going to pull that brown loop tight. Okay, so once we've joined that, we're just going to leave the brown yarn, the yarn A, dangling, ready to be picked up again when we get back round to the next round. So we're now going to be doing single crochets in the back loops all the way around for this round, just the same as before, but this time using our yarn B. So go into that back loop and single crochet all around. And this is going to create that stripe at the bottom of the motif. I can never show you because it's too funny an angle. It's there. You've seen it before. So continue doing your single crochet in the back loops all the way around of this silver stripe, and I will see you back at the beginning. So just coming to the end of that round, that's that. So then we are going to slip stitch into the back loop of that first stitch to join, and then I'm going to let the silver fall down, as it were, leave it lie and join in the brown again, so back into yarn A, and then we're just going to repeat. So we're going to do single crochet all the way around in the back loops until we get back to the start. Okay, so at the end of round 4 we're just going to do exactly the same, slip stitch into the back loop of the first stitch and pull that through, and then I'm going to rejoin my yarn B, my silver, and I'm going to do round 6, which is exactly the same as round 4, repeating round 4. So we're going to do single crochet into the back loops all the way around. Okay, so that's the end of round 6. I'm slip stitching into the back loop of that first stitch again to join, and then rejoining my yarn A. So this now is round 7, and this is the start of the mosaic pattern for real. So if you haven't done mosaic crochet before, it's fairly straightforward. It is just what we've been doing already, single crochets in the back loops only, and then we have mosaic double crochets, which are, in UK terms, that's called mosaic treble crochet. This is mosaic double crochet in US terms, and for the mosaic stitches, we are working into these stitches, these front loops here, from 2 rows below. So this is, we're always working into the same color as the yarn that we're working with when we work the mosaic stitches. So we're first going to do a single crochet in the back loop on the first stitch, and then we're going to do 3 mosaic double crochets. So we yarn over, we insert our hook into that front loop from the 2 rows below, we yarn over and we pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, I'll show you again in the next stitch, down into that front loop, and then we do a normal double crochet into that stitch, and that then covers up the silver row, and that is what creates our pattern. So for this row we are doing 1 single crochet in the back loop, then we're doing 3 mosaic double crochets, 1 single crochet in the back loop, then 3 mosaic double crochets, then we do 1, just check that you're missing 3 there so you keep in line, 1 single crochet in the back loop, 1 mosaic double crochet, and that is our repeat of 10 stitches. So we're going to repeat that again all the way around your box. So a 1 single crochet in the back loop, 3 mosaic double crochets, 1 single crochet in the back loop, 3 mosaic double crochets, and 1 single crochet in the back loop and 1 mosaic double crochet. Okay, so if you carry on repeating that pattern all the way around, you should find that you finish at the end of a repeat, otherwise you have gone wrong somewhere and don't have a multiple of 10 stitches. So this is why we need the multiple. Okay, right, so I have come round to the end of round 7, repeating that pattern all the way around, and I'm just going to do the same as always, slip stitching into the back loop of that first stitch to join, and then joining on my yarn B. So we're moving on now to round 8. So for round 8, we are going to do 4 single crochets in the back loops, 1 mosaic double crochet, and then 5 single crochets in the back loop, and that is our repeat. So let's start 4 single crochets into those back loops and 1 mosaic. So it's quite easy to work out where you're going because you've got the gap there, okay? I mean, you can't do a mosaic double crochet in the top of a mosaic double crochet because there's nowhere to go into, if that makes sense. But you do have some tricksy ones like these because we're not doing a mosaic into those ones. Those are just like those bits, if you can see. Little sparkly snow. Let's call it snow. Right, so we're just going to repeat that pattern all the way around again. So you've got 4 single crochets in the back loops, 1 mosaic double crochet, and then 5 single crochets in the back loops. So you're going to end up with a gap of 9 between each mosaic double crochet. That's the end of round 8. Just joining that with a slip stitch in the back loops, and then we're rejoining our yarn A for round 9. So round 9, we're going to start with 2 mosaic double crochets. So get into that very first front loop. Oopsie. Which can be a bit tricky, as you can see. And then we are going to do another mosaic double crochet. Then we're going to do a single crochet in the back loops, then a mosaic double crochet, a single crochet in the back loops, a mosaic double crochet, a single crochet in the back loops, and then 3 mosaic double crochets. And that is our repeat for this round. Okay, so we repeat that around 2, then 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and then 3. So then we're going to carry on with the second repeat, which is 2, and so on. A single crochet in the back loop, mosaic double crochet, single crochet, mosaic double crochet, single crochet, and then our 3 mosaic double crochets to finish that repeat. So keep going all the way around for round 9. Okay, so the end of round 9 now with a slip stitch into that first stitch to join, and then we're rejoining our yarn B. Now this row might be a little bit fiddly, so just watch. I mean, the first 4 stitches are just single crochets into the back loops, so that's fairly simple. And then we get to the middle of the snowflake. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do a mosaic double crochet 3 together. So what I mean by this is we're going to be working into these 3 stitches to create the snowflake points. So we yarn over, insert into this one, which is from the stitch beforehand, yarn over and pull through, and yarn over and pull through 2. So we leave those 2 loops on the hook and yarn over. Then we insert into the stitch which is directly below us, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Then we yarn over and we insert into this loop here, which is open for us. Yarn over, pull through 2. So now we've got 4 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through all of them, and that will pull that together. We're then going to do 5 single crochets, but you need to look behind to see which ones you're going into. So we're only skipping 1 stitch here, so we're going into that very next one, and we're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that is our repeat. I'll show you again because it's a bit complicated. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, and then we are going to do our mosaic double crochet 3 together. Okay, so we yarn over, insert into that loop that is the stitch beforehand, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and we yarn over again, insert into the stitch that we should be working in, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and we yarn over and insert into this stitch, which is 2 stitches further forward, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and then finally we yarn over and pull through all 4 loops, and then we carry on finding the next stitch behind to do our single crochet into, and that is our 5 more single crochets, 4 at the start, 5 after the NDC. So carry on repeating around as normal, and I will see you at the other side. I've got to the end of that round 10, and I'm going to slip stitch through the back loop to join, and then I'm going to rejoin my yarn A by pulling it through that loop and pulling that loop tight. So we're on to round 11 now. We're going to do 9 single crochets in the back loop and 1 MDC. So this is a easy round again. I'll just show you 1 repeat because there's not much to show for this one. Helps if I keep count though. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 single crochets and then 1 mosaic double. Okay, so repeat that pattern all the way around. That was round 11. Let's single crochet, let's slip stitch into that back loop to join and rejoin our yarn B. Where's it gone? Lost it. Ooh, sorry there. Take you for a little shaky ride. Right, so this round has some diagonal stitches in it, so just watch carefully. We're going to single crochet into the first 2 stitches in the back loops, of course. Then we're going to do a diagonal stitch, so we're going to work into this central point from here. Okay, so we're going to yarn over, insert our hook into the central star, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and you can see it's created a diagonal mosaic double crochet. So then we're going to skip that stitch because that was the one that we've worked. Okay, and then we do 1 single crochet in the back loops. Now we're going to do a mosaic double crochet, so that's into that same central point of the star, okay, the snowflake should I say, and then we do a single crochet in the back loop, and then we do our final diagonal one, so we're going back on ourselves this time into the central point again. Okay, and that creates the 3 points of the top of the snowflake. So then we're going to skip that stitch because this is this one that we've done, and we're going to do 3 single crochets in the back loops, and that's our repeat. So I'll do it again just to show you. We do 2 single crochets in the back loops, then we do our diagonal, so we yarn over from here and we insert our hook under the central point of the snowflake and do a double crochet there, and we're skipping that stitch because that's the one we've just worked, and we're doing a single crochet into the back loop there. Then we do our mosaic double crochet into the middle, then we do a single crochet in the back loop, and then we do a mosaic double crochet diagonally into that front central point again. Don't worry if it pulls it up, it looks great once it's done. Then we're going to skip and we're going to go with our 3 single crochets to finish off the repeat. Okay, so just carry on repeating that all the way around. Okay, so how did you get on with that one? That was round 12. We're moving on to round 13 now. Just joining, fastening off with a slip stitch and rejoining my yarn A again. And we just need to be a bit careful with this round as well. So we are going to do 2 MDCs, mosaic double crochets to start with. You have to be careful with that first loop because it's quite tricky to get into. Okay, so we've got 2 of those. Then we do a single crochet through the back loops in the top of that point of the star. And then we're going to do a mosaic double crochet, and it's going to go kind of behind this slanty one. So you have to kind of wiggle your hook all the way through and move the stitch out the way to find that loop under there. Okay, and then we do a single crochet in the back loop, and we do the same again here. So I put my hook in, I lift up, and then I can see underneath and I can find that front loop. Remember that it's going to be a brown front loop, or the same color as your yarn A, sorry. So, and then we do a single crochet in the back loop. And then we're going to do 3 mosaic double crochets, okay? And that is the end of our repeat. So just be careful when you're finding those loops behind the diagonals, because they are a bit tricky to find, but don't be scared to lift the stitches out of the way and really kind of move them around to find where you need to go. So I've just started the next repeat with my 2 mosaic double crochets, and I'm doing a single crochet in the back loop, then a mosaic double crochet behind this diagonal, a single crochet in the back loop, a mosaic double crochet behind the diagonal, a single crochet in the back loop, and then we finish off that repeat with 3 mosaic double crochets. It's 5 in total in between each snowflake. So let's repeat that around until you have got back to the start. Okay, as normal, I'm finishing that round by slip stitching into the first stitch and rejoining my next yarn, trying not to get them twisted. Okay, so we are on to round 14. We're doing 4 single crochets in the back loops only to start. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're doing a mosaic double crochet in the middle of our snowflake. And then we're doing 5 single crochets. Okay, so that's an easy round. 4 single crochets in the back loops, 1 mosaic double crochet in the middle, and then 5 single crochets in the back loops. So we can go ahead now already and carry on round till we're back at the start of this round. That's round 14 completed. Slip stitch to join and rejoin our yarn A for round 15. So we're going to do a single crochet in the back loop, then we're going to do 3 mosaic double crochets, 2, 3, a single crochet in the back loop, 3 mosaic crochets, mosaic double crochets, a single crochet in the back loop, and a mosaic. And that's our repeat. So it's the same as one of the first rounds we did back down here. So it's a single crochet in the back loop first, then 3 mosaic double crochets, a single crochet in the back loop, 3 mosaic crochets, then one single mosaic, one single crochet in the back loop, and one mosaic double crochet, and we repeat that all the way around. Okay, so that's the end of round 15. That was round 15, correct? Yes, round 15. So now we are on to round 16. Round 16 is the last round of the snowflake pattern. So it's the stripe along the top, as you can see here. So it's just going to be single crochets in the back loops only all the way around. So I think we're a pro at those by now. Let's just go ahead and do them in our own time. Round 16 was a quick one, just in the single crochet in the back loops only. So we join again, and that was our last silver round. So you can now cut your yarn, leave a little tail to weave in your ends, of course. Round 17 now is moving back to what we did at the start. So we did some rows of single crochet in the back loops just in this one colour. So we're going to do that now. Single crochet in the back loops all the way around, and we're going to repeat this round as many times as you need to reach the top of your box. So keep putting it into your box, putting your box into it, sorry, that way round, and trying it to see how many rounds you need to do, and do it until it has completely got over the top of the box. Not just like literally flush with it, or the tiniest bit above the top edge of the box. You don't want it loads over, otherwise it will be baggy when you add the ties. But equally, you don't want it to be below the edge of your box. Okay. So carry on doing that. Obviously, when you get back to the beginning of each round, you slip stitch into that first stitch to join, but then you'll need to do a chain one to start the next round because we're not changing color anymore. So continue that until you've reached the right number of rows for your box, and then fasten off. And then I will show you how to do the ties for your box. Okay, so as you see, my gift wrap is now the same height, just a tad. You can see it just pokes up a little bit over the top of my box. So I am going to stop crocheting there, and I am going to cut my yarn and fasten that off. So I haven't slip stitched yet, so I'm just going to slip stitch into the first stitch, whoop, and pull it all the way through. Right, there we go. So that can now be woven in that end there, and we can move on to the ties for our box. So that's these. So they are 4 long ties, which I can just undo this and show you. Each tie is like a ribbon shape, and then you fold it over to fasten it like so. So I'm going to, we need to calculate, sorry, we need to work out the size, the width across here of our ties. So they need to be evenly spaced across the 4 sides. And obviously, if you've got a rectangle, you need to take that into consideration, how many stitches you've got on each side as well. So I've got 60 stitches all the way around, and I have got how many have I got on each side? So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 along that edge. So I've got 2 sides with 16 and 2 sides with 14. So we want to place our ties evenly, centrally on each side. So we need to work out where we're going to place them and how long they're going to be. So for a box this size, we want our ties to be at least half of the width, so at least 8 stitches, and I'm going to do 10 stitches on all 4 sides, and that means that this is my first stitch here. So if this is 16, it needs 3 on each side, 3, 10, 3, that makes 16, and on my 14 sides I need 2, 10, 2 to make the 14. Okay, so we need to make sure we start in the corner, so in that first stitch, which is that one I've slip stitched into, and then I'm going to skip those first 3 stitches, and then I'm going to join in through both loops. I'm going to join my yarn there, so then I'm going to have 10 stitches, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Now I'm going to move along one because that doesn't look quite right. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Then we're going to skip 4, 2, 4, and then we're going to skip 2, then 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's not exactly even, but just try and make it as even as you possibly can around your box, okay? And you can keep checking as you're going and adjust it as necessary. So this is one of my, this is my 16 side, isn't it? 2, 6, 8, 12, 14, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 here. This is a 16 side, so I'm skipping 3. My box isn't equal in my thing. That's my problem, I think. Right, there we go. Right, skipping 3 from the first stitch, which is that one. 1, 2, 3. And we're going in here. Right. So I'm going to take my box out now to start work. And I am going to join my yarn and chain 1. Sorry if that didn't make sense. I hope it does make sense. You need to think about how many stitches you've got on each side of your box, remembering those extra stitches you've added for the corners. So my total was 60, and I had 14 on one side and 16 on the other side. So that's how I am using it, and I am centrally placing 10 stitches on each side. So on the 14 side, the 10 will have 2 either side, and on the 16 side, the 10 will have 3 either side. So when I'm going along, when I've done my first 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, then the next one will be placed with a 5 stitch gap, so 3 for one side and 2 for the other. So then I'll do my next 10, and then I'll miss 5 and do my next 10. Okay, so I've done 10 single crochets going through both loops of those 10 stitches that I've identified. Then I'm going to turn, and I am going to chain 1, and I am going to go back along doing a single crochet into every stitch. Okay, and we're going to repeat that. Okay, so we're just going to carry on repeating that until the length of this reaches the other side when it's folded down. Okay, so you want it to be as long as that. So keep doing rows of single crochet until it reaches that side when you hold it flat. Okay, okay, so my first tie is now reaches the other side of my box. Another way to look at it is that you can use your actual box and measure how long it is and use that. So we want to finish on a right side row. By that I mean that the pattern is facing you, and then we are going to start decreasing our ties. So we're going to chain 1, and we're going to single crochet in each stitch across until we get to the last 2 stitches. Okay, so that's the last 2 stitches. So I'm going to do a single crochet 2 together into the last 2 stitches, a decrease. So I insert my hook into the first of the 2, yarn over and pull through, and then I straight away insert my hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through. So then I've got 3 loops on my hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. Okay, and then we're going to turn and we're just going to chain 1 and we're going to single crochet in each stitch across. Okay. When we get to the end of that row, we are going to turn again. And we're just going to repeat that. So chain 1, single crochet across to the last 2 stitches. So we're only doing it on one side, okay? So the decrease is only on every other row. And that makes it the right length. So now we're going to do our decrease, our single crochet 2 together. And then turn. And this row we single crochet in every stitch. So we're going to just repeat that until we only have 1 stitch left. Okay. So just keep going, decreasing on the right side row and not decreasing on the wrong side row. And I will see you when you have decreased. So I'm nearly there. It's a lot smaller, down to 2 stitches now. Okay, so for the final, sorry about that, my whole setup collapsed. Oh, never mind. Right, we'll carry on. So I've got 2 stitches left. I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to do a single crochet 2 together, and then I am down to 1 stitch and I am going to fasten off. So now you need to do the same for all of your other ties. So if you're doing a rectangle, your ties are going to be slightly different lengths because you're obviously the 2 that are opposite each other are going to be the same length because they reach across, but the 2 on the other side might be slightly longer or slightly shorter because of the way because they need to reach to the other side of your box. And when you have done that, then we can start doing some edging, which I'm going to show you now, even though I haven't done my other ties. Okay, so you can join your yarn anywhere, rejoin. So we're going to do an edging all around the tops of the ties and around the sides. So it's this edging here. But we start by doing an edging in yarn A first, and then we're going to do a second round in yarn B. So we join our yarn in any stitch. Oops. And then we're just going to do a single crochet into each stitch. Okay, and when you get to the ties, what's going on with my yarn? Whole thing's all fallen apart now. So then we're going to start working up the tie and we're going to work into every row end, okay? So they will all be a bit different. I'll get that out of the way so you can see properly. The row ends, because where we've done the decreases and things, they might look a bit funny, but just do 1 stitch into each row end. And actually, if you miss a few, as long as you try and make it even, it doesn't actually matter. So you just keep going all the way around, up and down the 4 ties, around the tops of the sides, and until you get back to where you started. and then join to the first stitch with a slip stitch, and then you can fasten that off, and then you're going to rejoin with your yarn bee, and you're going to do exactly the same, going all the way around the edging with your yarn bee and around the tops of the ties. Now when you get to the top, you might want to put a couple of extra stitches into the top, otherwise it's going to really be too tight. So just make it a nice curve as you work around and use your eye as judgment. Okay, so do that all the way around with one round with yarn A and one round with yarn B, and then fasten off and join with a slip stitch, and then we'll come back together and I will show you how to put your present in your gift wrap and tie the bow on the top. Okay, so I have now gone all of the way around my edging for my box, and I've woven in all of my ends, and we're ready to tie the bow at the top. So I'll just pop my present inside and show you how to do it. So you need to cut yourself a length of yarn, about 30-40 centimeters, something like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to fold over the ends of our ties like this, and we are going to put them up. So fold over, so I do two at a time. I'm folding them over in half or just under half. It depends on the size of your box a little bit. And I'm just gathering them up and holding them. Hopefully you can see like that. Holding them like that. And then once I've got all of them, it's a bit fiddly, and you can rearrange them a bit once you've got it tied anyway. So I've got all of them held now in a bunch, and the ends are stuck into the middle nice and tight. So then I'll grab my yarn and I'm going to wrap it around my the top, and I'm just going to tie it nice and tight around right at the base, tie it in a bow so that it can be undone, and then just a little bit of rearranging. Pull your loops nice and open so they are bow-like, and you are completed. Finished your present. Now all that remains is for you to put it under the tree and hope that somebody really likes it when they receive it at Christmas time. I really hope you've enjoyed doing this tutorial with me. It's been so much fun for me, and I hope you liked making your gift wrap for crochet gift wrap for a present for a square box. So I hope you'll join me again for another tutorial, and I will see you again soon.